We are the New York Knicks. I'm back in the New York groove. Well, it's the Knicks. New York. We are the New York Knicks. New York. For this new season we're about to enter, the Knicks taking no shorts, it's like winter.
New York, New York.
New York be about the Knicks, huh?
But the best thing about New York City is K-N-I-C-K-S.
Everybody say go, New York, go, New York, go!
Hey, party people, it's episode 317 of the New York Knicks podcast. I am Jay.
And I am Mark.
All right, we did it.
Yes. And where's Stat Guy?
Stat Guy is looking for some sort of connector to... apparently something broke off in his laptop, and so he's unable to connect. Is it just that the show is cursed? Like, people even try to do the show with us, end up with audio problems? It's like an infection.
So we were supposed to have a new Stat Guy today, and apparently we don't. This could be the worst Stat Guy ever, because it didn't even make it on the... Or best Stat Guy, depending on what you think of Stat Guys. What happened so he couldn't get a cord to connect his what to his what?
I don't know. Something to something. Something wasn't connecting.
Oh, did you tell him he could just be on, say, next week?
I did. That his friends are apparently tuning in, so now he's, not happy about that.
Oh,
yeah, a lot of drama.
That's a lot of that's tough when people are like, hey, friends, I'm going to be on some podcast you've never heard of to talk about things you don't care about. Tune in. It'll be embarrassing if I'm not on.
When I had my first episode of my public access show, we made posters and we put it all over our high school, and like half the high school was tuning in, and the cable company screwed up and played the show before us on loop for like 3 hours. We were so we actually showed up at the cable place with like bats and eggs and stuff, and like
bats.
Yes, yeah. We threatened them to put the show on. They put it on, but it was like 3 hours late, so nobody saw it.
They're like, you didn't really need to threaten us. All you needed to do was correct us.
We probably could have just called. Thinking back, we didn't have to walk 3 miles with like a mob. We could have just called them.
You motherfuckers! You have that thing on loop. You're supposed to my show. Oh, we have it on loop. We'll fix that. Why do you have the bats? We have baseball practice after this.
Yeah, in retrospect, we probably handled that wrong.
They're like, why were you trying to come here to go to war? You paid your fee. You could be on public access. It's called public access. So I think we should start the show with Where Are They Now?
Okay, where are they now?
The segment where we talk about former Knicks and where are they now?
Mm-hmm.
Timmy Hardaway Jr. Jay, do you know where he is now?
I do know where he is now.
Where is he now?
He is in the D League after playing 0 minutes this season.
Actually, I looked. He played in 4 games.
He did?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Didn't do much.
Well, he's in the D League anyway.
He's in the D League. I don't know what team he's on because I can't name more than one D League team.
Right.
Westchester and others.
Mm-hmm.
I
know the 76ers is the 67ers just because that's stupid.
Is that for real?
Yeah.
That's kind of funny. It's like okay, for all dyslexic fans, we'll give you worse players to watch.
I wonder if that's I wonder if they made up like a bullcrap reason that like the year 67 was important.
I think it'd be really funny if like the way like there's a lot of people that are upset with the Redskins. Yeah. And I think they have a strong case to be upset. Do you think there's a certain segment of people who are like, my cousin is dyslexic. That's fucked up that you would do that.
I hope not, but you know what? Probably.
It'd be really funny if they were like, they thought this was picking on dyslexic people.
Yeah.
Anyway, how do you feel about Hardaway these days?
Well, I'm glad he is not on the team. And for anybody who was mad that we traded him, that's how good he is.
But aren't you kind of like, don't you kind of feel a lot better about Hardaway than you ever felt? Like, he was never this good of a Knick when he was on the Knicks.
Right.
But since he played well enough for the Knicks to help to do two things. he hit some shots we wanted to murder him for at the end of last season, and those shots got us Porzingis. Because we wouldn't have picked fourth. We would have picked probably second in the draft. We would have Okafor
No,
right
we
now.
would have picked first, but anyway.
Well, we probably would have ended up picking second. Because our luck, we still would have picked second. Towns still would be in Minnesota, and we'd be like, why did our rookie punch some guy because he said the Knicks suck? Plus, Hardaway played well enough that the Hawks were dumb enough to trade for him.
That is also true, yes.
He turned we turned Timmy Hardaway into Porzingis and Jerian Grant. Is it Jerian or Jerian? Jerian, right?
Yeah.
Jerian Grant. We turned him into Grant and Porzingis. It's like we traded Hardaway straight up for Grant and Porzingis.
Gotcha.
You don't think it's quite that?
We have it. No, I was reading the. We have a stats guy in the chat room. Apparently, the
Oh,
Sixers won the championship in '67 with Wilt, and they were 68-13 that season.
Oh, so you don't think they're just picking on dyslexic people? That's actually probably what. You were right, Jay. Also, so do we want to? So since last show, the Knicks are 2-1. Thank you, stats guy, by the way, in the chat room. The Knicks are 2-1. They beat the Sixers, they beat the Nets, and they lost to the Bucks. How do you feel?
No, I mean better than if we lost to the Sixers, but not great because those were 3 very winnable games.
Right, but we won 2 of the 3. I mean, in some ways,
I just feel like every time we get to 500, then we have like a stupid loss that we shouldn't lose.
well, in some ways, on the way to being good, the first step is beating the other bad teams and competing with the good teams.
True.
You wouldn't expect the Knicks to be above 500 against good teams, right?
Right.
So the Knicks beat the team they're supposed to. They beat the Sixers, even though that was the ugliest game possible. And they beat the Nets. They stomped the Nets. So the 2 teams they're supposed to beat, they beat. The Bucks are pretty good. The Bucks are playing. They're not playing as well as they should this year, but they were a playoff team last year, and they're a pretty good team.
Yeah.
So, and the Knicks stay close. They probably should have played better against the Bucks when the refs. We can talk about this in a second. The refs didn't really help the Knicks, but I'm kind of happy after this week.
Yeah, I mean it's not bad. It definitely could have been worse. I was hoping we could get a little bit of a winning streak going.
I mean, we're 2-1. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
I'm a little annoyed that we're going to play the Dallas next, so that's not going to work out well.
Do you want to just go through the games real quick?
Let's go through the games real quick. You want to start with the ugliest game possible, the Philly game?
Yeah, sure.
So one thing I want to talk about with this game, not really relevant to the game as much as so at halftime, Porzingis, not halftime. I'm not sure when it was. Maybe it was halftime. Porzingis, there was one famous celebrity Porzingis really wanted to meet, and for whatever reason, it was Turtle from Entourage. Did you watch the game? Did you see this part?
I saw that part, yeah.
So they were talking about how Porzingis really wanted to meet Turtle and whatever, and Clyde was like talking about that, and he's like, yeah, I don't know who I would have wanted to meet back in my day, but it certainly would have been a dude.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, he said it in such a way. He's like, he wouldn't have been a dude because I bang women. Just saying, I'm not gay, okay? I like to bang women. We got it, Clyde. Then he started talking about he's like Sophia Loren for some reason, and he's like, yeah, I used to have a Sophia Loren poster in my room, and I was like, is he talking about masturbating from his youth on the shot? You catch all that?
Yeah, that was interesting.
It was a weird tangent he went on. It was almost like he went on this tangent. Mike Breen had to like hit him in the leg and go, okay, focus.
This is how interesting the Philly game was. We're talking about anything but what actually happened on the basketball court.
It was probably
were you
the best
happy
part of the game.
that they beat the Lakers?
What'd you say?
Were you happy that they beat the Lakers right before they played us?
Do you know Kobe thought he was going for 81 that night? Did you hear this?
No.
Oh, you didn't hear this?
No.
So Kobe hit his first like 2 or 3 shots.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm trying to find the quote actually. He said basically here it is. He said I thought I was going to score 81. I thought there was another magic night coming.
Didn't he go like 2 for 15 after the first 3 shots?
He had a terrible game. He
Yeah.
shot like 30% of the night. He was like 7 for 24 or something like that.
Yeah, and that was after going like 3 for 4.
Yeah. So basically, he had this hot start. Let me find the. He said Kobe says he sensed Philly players were in awe after he hit the first 3 shots. Like, holy crap! Is this going to be in an 81-point situation?
He is out of his mind.
He's out of his goddamn mind. And everywhere I look, all the sports analysts are like, "Do you think Kobe's gonna? He can't go on like he's gonna retire mid-season, right? He's gonna retire mid-season. Do you think there's a chance in hell he's retiring mid-season?
Why would he do that?
The only reason why he would do it is he has such shame for how bad he's playing that he just goes, I can't play anymore. I'm done.
Hey guys, I don't want the last $12 million of this season. So
Forgetting the money, the dude jacks up 25 shots a game, misses 18 of them, and does it the next night. He has no humility. He's not humble.
No. He doesn't care at all.
At no point will he back out.
He's just padding his stats, hoping that LeBron doesn't pass him in the scoring race.
Yeah, I don't even think that. I think he just thinks he could still score. Like, he can still play the level he used to be able to play.
Maybe he thinks he could still pass Malone before the end of the season. He needs to average like 70 points a game.
Oh, is he that far?
Yeah, there's no way.
Malone's second, right? Or
Yeah, he's still like, I don't know, 3,000 points away from Malone.
I mean, LeBron's going to top them all, obviously. But
Maybe.
you don't think so?
I don't know. He's already taking tired days off.
Yeah, didn't they get roughed up by Miami?
Yeah, LeBron took a day off for rest, and the crowd was chanting, LeBron is tired.
Well, LeBron needs help.
LeBron needs help. ESPN's newest article actually said LeBron needs more help.
They only have 5 max contracts. He needs help.
They only doubled the salary cap right now, but he needs more help.
They literally have doubled the salary. They have LeBron's a max, Irving's a max, Kevin Love's a max.
Yep.
Tristan Thompson's getting like $17 million a year.
Yeah, he's almost max.
Almost max. Who else? Shumpert has still not the same level, but still has an absurd contract. J.R. Smith is allowed to be paid to play. It's still paid to play basketball.
I think Varejão's making like $9 million.
Oh yeah, Varejão makes a ton of money also. How the Knicks are like, you only get one max guy, but we have a salary cap. It's strict for teams that are not LeBron's not on that team.
Oh, wait, I also looked it up. LeBron has had more All-Stars on his team every single year for the last 6 years than any of Kobe's or Jordan's championship teams. They never had more than one other All-Star.
So basically, Kobe had Shaq or Gasol, and Jordan had Pippen.
And Kobe didn't even have Gasol one of those 2 championships, and Jordan didn't even have Pippen for 2 out of the 6.
No. Kobe had Shaq or Gasol for all those titles.
For 4 out of his 5. One of his. It was only Kobe.
No, it wasn't. You're wrong.
Really?
I'm 100% positive.
Oh no, it was the year they made the finals, but lost to the Celtics. He didn't have Gasol.
He still had Shaq though. That was the last year. That was the year they had Shaq. They got Karl Malone.
No,
they got Gary Payton.
The year the Celtics won the championship.
Yeah, the Celtics when the Celtics put together Pierce and Garnett.
Yes,
I mean Garnett with Ray Allen.
Shaq was like 4 teams removed from the Lakers by then.
What year is it? No, you're right. Shaq wasn't on a team. Must have had Gasol. What year was this?
2000.
There's no way Kobe made the finals without Gasol.
It is
2008, right?
Yeah,
2008.
You never believe anything I say.
I don't believe jack shit. That's why we need a goddamn.
It's not even we need a stat guy. We need a Mark needs to fact check everything Jay says.
Okay, this is 2000, 2009. Let's see. This is the.
I mean, you can look it up. I already checked it.
Won the finals versus. Is this 2007, 2008, or 2000?
It doesn't matter. I said one of those years. 2008 is the year they lost in the finals. It was just Kobe.
Okay, this is they lost the finals. There's no way it was just Kobe. Hang on. Okay, now I got to hang on. Calm down.
And
okay, they have Kobe. They have Bynum. Gasol. Gasol's on the team.
No.
According to Basketball Reference, he's on the team.
In 2009.
2007, 2008 season. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah. I don't believe you.
Hey, you're right. You know, someone probably edited with Basketball Reference. That's what the stat guy said. I couldn't connect my computer thing because I have to infiltrate Basketball Reference because Mark's surely going to argue this idiotic point.
Fine. 2000. All right, never mind. Whatever.
What? Who gives a shit about
Yeah,
this?
who cares?
Anyway, either way, it doesn't like break your argument. Either way, I mean, both teams had a good supporting cast.
Can we just go back to Philly against the Knicks?
Okay. Well, I thought we were going to make fun of the fact that like LeBron needs more help.
I wanted to make fun of the fact that Philly tanked for 3 years and they're starting Jakar Sampson.
You had that great comment on Twitter. What was it like? The tanking's really worked out well for you, Philly. Now that you have a roster of 9 D-League guys.
Yeah, I said it's a good thing they tanked for the last 3 years. How else would they be able to amass so many D-Leaguers and undrafted guys?
That is pretty. Like the whole point of it is that you get all these first-round picks. And their best player, one of their best draft picks plays on the Bucks right now.
Yeah, other than Noel, who on this team would you even want on your team?
No, you just want Noel, and you one of your friends would make the argument. Well, if we get anyone, let's get Embiid. I'm sure he'll be back next year. Covington's not that bad.
Great. That's the best you could say about guys on their team. They're not that bad.
I would want Noel Nerlens. I'd want him, but the roster's or Okafor, I guess, also.
Yeah, when he's not knocking people out in the streets.
Yeah, I don't want anyone to say the Knicks got lucky. Okafor didn't play for Philly because I don't think that would have mattered.
No, I don't either.
It's almost kind of like they suspended him right before they're going to play the Knicks. They're like, let's not have our rookie embarrassed by the Knicks rookie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they really said that, but they're like, Okafor, could you punch someone in the face randomly so we can not have you play against the Knicks? Anyway, anything to say about this game? This game was disgusting. Neither side could hit a shot. It was awful to watch.
Carmelo did his best impression of Kobe.
When's the last time Carmelo shot well? I don't think actually he was that bad in the Bucks. Let me look at the Bucks game. No, actually, never mind. I didn't think he was that bad in the Bucks game. Then I saw he was 6 for 17. He has been shooting. We rip on Kobe. Melo's doing a Kobe impression as far as his shooting. At least
He shot 500 against the Nets.
I mean, he's been pretty goddamn awful.
So speaking of awful, the Nets.
Okay, the Nets. That was so much fun to watch.
I would have liked it a lot better if Bargs was playing.
What happened to Bargs?
He's injured again.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's been injured like 3 times since the season started.
But isn't that like it's to the Nets' advantage? I heard they were playing better now.
Yeah, I know. It's just they were talking themselves into Bargs, and I want him to play a string of games so they could get the full Bargs experience.
He played earlier in the year, and the Nets didn't win a game when he was initially playing. He was terrible. The Bargs experience. This game was great. The Knicks were amazing from 3-point land. They were 12 for 27 on the night.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome. They actually started. Was this the game they started using a real rotation for the bench?
Yeah, they basically only played 5 bench guys. Amundsen played 4 minutes, but
you can't really count that. Yeah, they basically said hey, these are our 5 bench guys. That's it.
Although it was kind of funny because they're like, oh, the Knicks are up by 30. I'm going to tighten the rotation. Wouldn't that be the game to play all 13 guys?
Yeah, isn't that the game where they're like, Clanthony Early, you should play a lot of minutes tonight because we're up by a. Actually, only the Knicks are up by 30 and still make you nervous because the game got a lot closer than it should have been by the end.
Yeah. Also, when I saw Porzingis going in the 4th quarter, I'm like, if he rolls an ankle right now, they should just execute Fisher.
I have to say, so the Knicks won by 17. I think it was near the end. It was around the Knicks were up by 15. And the opposite in the Bucks game, the Knicks were down by 15.
Mm-hmm.
And when the Knicks are up by 15, I am pretty sure the other team's going to tie the game within 30 seconds.
Yeah.
When the Knicks are down by 15, you might as well use the mercy rule. There's no way the Knicks are coming back. That's how I always feel.
Well, they always have the Knicks comeback where they come back to within 4 and then lose.
Yeah, it's a wonderful thing. Anyway, so after this game, do you think he had the better Lopez brother?
I mean, yeah, Brooke definitely looked better.
He looked better on offense. I don't know. Whatever.
Knicks fan since Melo said, what if New Orleans never traded Nerlens Noel?
Wait, what?
Remember when Philly made the playoffs and then literally traded every single guy from that team? They traded Drew Holiday for the pick that was Noel.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right.
I mean, both teams would be better off because Holiday's been injured since he got to New Orleans.
And tanking,
Right.
there's two,
With
you can
an
only
injured
tank
Noel.
if you can actually draft.
Yeah. That's the thing. Philly is really bad at drafting.
I mean, they draft guys purposely that aren't going to play in the NBA.
Right.
I don't really understand. They have two. The year they drafted them, I think the year they drafted Embiid, they had another first round pick who's been in Europe for the last few years.
Yeah. Apparently, he's finally coming next year.
Okay, I'll believe it. And apparently Embiid's going to be healthy, and apparently Philly's not going to be a joke. I'll believe it all when it happens.
Yeah. All right. Milwaukee.
Yeah. So the Milwaukee game sucked. I want to see if there's anything else I wanted to add for the Nets game was just fun to watch. It's nice to see. It was nice just to see a blowout. The Milwaukee game.
Yeah, I was in class, but I had the Gamecast on my phone, and even that I had to turn off. It was just brutal.
First of all, Monroe looked fantastic. Holy shit,
he did.
He looked great. I was like, glad we didn't sign him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't forgetting his defense. His defense wasn't great, but his offense, he looked. You watch him, you're like, it'd be nice to have Monroe over Melo right now. Even though Melo, Melo's dude does other things I get, but
I think the bigger problem is letting OJ Mayo go 8 for 12.
Yeah, Mayo killed us. Why do we always get killed on the offensive boards? It seemed like every time they missed a shot, they would just get the ball back anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know what the actual number is. They had twice as many offensive boards than us, so that didn't work out well.
13-6.
Yeah, so that's where we got murdered. I don't know. The Knicks just seemed like after hitting all those 3-pointers against the Nets, they seemed like they couldn't hit a 3-pointer against the Bucks.
Yeah, Seraphin really cooled off. Galloway has been in a 3-week slump.
In the net game, they kept getting Porzingis open from 3-point line. He hit a couple 3-pointers. It was nice, and they didn't get. Porzingis seemed hesitant again. I mean, I love Porzingis. At times, he seems like he doesn't have the the unconscious I'm just going to keep shooting the ball. I'm just I'm going to be the focus of the offense. I want to share, which is a good. I wish he would just have a little bit of Melo in him at times. And I know he's young and he'll get this, but sometimes I feel like he shares the ball a little too much.
Yeah. BCom made a point that we get killed on the offensive glass because Robin Lopez doesn't rebound, which is a good point. You don't want your starting center finishing the game with 1 rebound.
That's insane. Someone made the point. I saw this on Posting and Toasting in their comment section. I thought it was pretty funny because one of the things about the game was the foul calling was kind of ridiculous. It seemed like in the early part of the game, Melo would get his ass kicked, and they'd be like, "Well, the refs just want everyone to play. Let them play." But then it'd only be they just want the guys to let them play unless the Knicks foul someone, then they'll call it. Mm-hmm. And they called a million moving screens. But the point of Posting and Toasting, which I thought was funny, was they were like, Melo is kind of the anti-Harden. Melo refuses to flop. No matter what you hit him with, he just absorbs it and keeps playing. Mm-hmm. So the rest call nothing. You breathe on Harden, he falls down, and he gets all the fouls.
Yeah.
If Melo acted like Harden, he'd go to the line 30 times in the game.
Did you see the Ryan Anderson embarrassing flop of the season?
No, I didn't see this.
Yeah, you should look that one up. That he gets hit and then waits a full second and then flies backwards. Knicks fan since Melo writes, "What free agent can we get this year?" We're gonna go out on a limb and say not Kevin Durant.
I thought Mike Conley was the one we were gonna get.
Conley is the one we should go all in for. Yes,
Conley would be good. I mean, not that he's the best one ever or anything. That we need more help on the glass. I mean, from the backcourt.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
You saw it.
I'm watching it right now. I'm watching on Vine, whatever. That is absurd.
Yeah.
But if Melo would do that, I mean, it's absurd because Melo really gets there's a lot of contact on him. They just don't call it. Did you see the Calderon blew up with the refs? There was a
I
ball
didn't
on
see
the
that.
on the cylinder, and the guy in this whatever it was on the Bucks like tipped it in. You can't touch the ball once on the cylinder, and it was really obvious, and the ref didn't call it, and Calderon just started screaming at the refs.
That's funny.
Yeah, he like lost his mind. The calling that it's not. It always sucks because you don't want to blame the loss on the refs, and the Bucks really outplayed the Knicks. But might have been a different game if you just called the game fairly.
Right.
Because then maybe like the Knicks don't do as many dumb plays, and maybe the game's a lot closer.
Was it an Ed Malloy ref game?
It wasn't, but it was bad. It was a badly ref game. Lance Thomas, your hero, played well.
He plays like crap for 3 games. I start ripping on him, and as soon as I start ripping on him, he comes up with a good game, and everyone's like, "See, he's really good. Shouldn't make."
You
fun
should
of him."
rip on him more. Just like why don't you talk about his family? Just rip on him right now, Jay. Go off on Lance Thomas. We need more positive performances from him. just come on, call him out. Call him out.
He really does suck, though. I mean, I don't understand why he's playing over Early or O'Quinn.
We got 20 more seconds, Jay. Keep going.
He doesn't do anything. I mean, even if you look at his really good game, he had 0 rebounds, 1 assist. He doesn't do anything else. He just jacks up stupid shots, and sometimes they go in. Complete waste.
Okay, you heard that, Lance Thomas. You have to show up, Jay, again.
Okay.
He plays adequate defense. He got 17 points. That's pretty decent off the bench.
People in the chat room want to talk about free agents, so we could do that real quick.
Okay.
We'll go with realistic ones. Like, I'm not going to say Al Horford because he's staying with the Hawks.
Also, we don't. Do we need more help in the front court or back court?
Mainly backcourt. But I mean, if there is a good front court player, you get him. But yeah, it's mainly backcourt players. It would be nice to see David Lee back in New York.
Yeah.
Bargnani.
That'd be a hell of a free. If we're shutting down the podcast if he comes back.
Yeah, I think we'd have to. What about Mr. Aya?
What if they offered to give our draft pick? Like somehow we'd get a draft pick back for this year if we took Bargs back. Like the Nets were like, we'll give you some first round pick. For some reason we have a first round pick if you take Bargs back.
I would, but Nets don't have control of their first round pick till like 2019.
What if Toronto feels bad for the Nets and they'll give us back our pick? Okay, who else?
Mr. I have huge potential but never live up to it, Batum.
I don't think he makes a lot of sense. He's a stretch and we already have Porzingis.
No, isn't he more of a 2-3?
But isn't he like a bit of he shoots threes, right?
Either way, I don't want him on the team.
Whatever. Is he a 2?
I think he is, yeah.
Okay,
Aaron Brooks.
We also already have Aflalo. Aaron Brooks, I would take. He used to start. I feel like he plays pretty well. He's still in Chicago, right?
Yeah, him and Heinrich are free agents, but Heinrich is always injured, so I'd say no to him.
I would take either one actually. Even though you're right, Heinrich is always injured. Who else? We need better guards. I don't think we're gonna get Conley. We're not gonna call on for Conley.
Raymond Felton.
Everyone's saying Felton's having a rebirth. His stats still are pretty mediocre this year. Yeah. I haven't watched too much of him playing, but I think he's a little overrated.
You think Felton's overrated?
Well, people are saying that he's playing. Have you not heard people say Felton's playing much better? He's having an up year again. The Knicks kind of should kind of miss him.
I think those are only people on the Mavs trying not to kill themselves.
He's shooting 39%.
Yeah,
he's not good.
Brandon Jennings.
That was the one. I was trying to think of who I was thinking. Jennings would be interesting. We could probably get him less for less than Conley. He doesn't shoot that well, but he's a pretty good point guard.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
He's fast. We need guys that can push the ball.
Barbosa.
What do you think? What do you think about I think he's a serious one. What do you think about Jennings?
I would take a chance on Jennings. He's still young. He's better than, I would say he's better than Calderon, or definitely better than Calderon will be next year when he's like 34.
I mean, he's definitely better than Calderon.
Jennings is only 26.
I mean, if you had to say what's wrong with this team, like what are the things you need to improve? You need to play a faster pace. They're one of the bottom in the league. I think they're 29th in the league in pace.
Right. Grant's much better when we play a fast pace.
Yeah, Grant's much better at playing a fast pace. I mean, the big thing with a fast pace is the other team can't set up their defense, so our offense would look a lot better.
Right.
I think Porzingis would look good on a fast. I think everyone would look better with a fast pace. I mean, it sucks because we have Grant getting better. He's looked a little better lately, but he's not that great yet. Calderon just plays a much slower pace. So Calderon was pushing the ball a lot in the Bucks game. I don't know. I guess I guess you didn't watch it, but I think he's making more of an effort to push the ball.
Mm-hmm.
But there was some stat where, like, in the first couple games, the Knicks were like near the top of the league and put in fast break points, and after that they just stopped. There was no more fast break points.
Yeah, he got tired. He's an old man.
I mean, they were not like they were in the top 10 or something like that in like fast break points, and then for the first 2 or 3 games, and after that they have almost none. So they've been starting to push the ball. A guy like Jennings would be an amazing addition. I feel like anyone fast, basically, who will actually push the ball.
Obviously, Conley.
Conley, yes, Conley would be a great addition. Also,
the greatest point guard on the planet, Mario Chalmers.
Yes, he is the greatest ever to have played the game. I mean, if the U.S. doesn't draft Conley to help defeat ISIS, I mean not Conley, I mean Chalmers, then we should probably take him. But I believe they're gonna have to use his powers to defeat ISIS.
Grievous Vasquez.
I like Vasquez. I would take him also. What do you think of Vasquez?
Yeah, he's not bad. I mean, he's a good backup point guard, but he'd probably be our best starting point guard.
I think he's better than Calderon.
Norris Cole.
He'd be a good guy to get for the bench.
Yeah, he'd be a good backup.
I mean, he never looked bad in Miami.
DJ Augustine.
DJ Augustine?
Yeah.
Sure. No, I guess not. Is he any good anymore?
I feel like he would stick with the team for more than 1 year if he was any good.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like he ever has a job.
Rondo.
I'm going to say it's not going to work out getting Rondo.
I would say please don't get Rondo.
I'm going to say that if it was going to work out, the Kings would be. I mean, it seemed like he has he should be. It should be. I know he's getting a ton of assists this year for the Kings, but they're still terrible.
Yeah.
Are they still terrible?
The Kings, yeah, they're not the worst, but yeah, they're still really bad.
I mean, are they playing better lately?
A little. I mean, they're semi-competitive.
I mean, they're 7-14. They have not a good team. They have not a bad team though, on paper.
Yeah.
I actually thought they were going to be competitive this year because I'm a moron.
Well, a lot of people thought they were like a dark horse pick.
I mean, you look at the roster, you had to look at this and think, I mean, they have Quincy Acy, so they should dominate. But you got Cousins, who's emerging as one of the best players in the league. Top 10?
Definitely top 20 right now.
You don't think top 10? Okay.
Borderline.
Okay, let's agree borderline. So it's a pretty good player you got there.
Mm-hmm.
You got Rondo, who's like a year removed from being one of the best point guards in the league.
Mm-hmm.
You got Cauley Stein. Made sense that, like, forgetting the offense, he'd be a hell of a defender.
Mm-hmm.
He'd kind of like help shore up them having Cousins on the floor. You got Rudy Gay, a poor man's Melo.
Mm-hmm.
They've got Bellinelli. I would love to have Bellinelli on our team.
Have we given up on Raymond Sessions? That's the last point guard available.
Yeah. I think Sessions is done.
Yeah.
But I would take him on the Knicks.
What are the chances of trading Jose? Almost none, right?
I don't know. I mean, he's been playing a lot better lately.
Yeah, and I guess next year the salary cap goes up, so his contract won't be that atrocious next year.
And in some ways, should we trade him? Like, what are we left with?
Well, I mean, we'd have to get another point guard. That's the problem.
Right. I mean, you could trade him in the off season if you were getting someone else. But right now, the team just gets worse.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the only, like. I mean, I just don't. Are you ready to trust the team to Grant? I want Grant to get more minutes, but I don't think Grant could play 40 minutes a game.
No, they have to bring Travis Trice up and have him start.
You know, Travis Trice may not be that great. There's always a chance that the guy's in D League and undrafted is not that great.
True.
He also had He had not that great of a game the other day. I forget the stats, but he had like a pretty mediocre game. He may not be as good. I know you saw a 5-minute clip of him, but he may not be as good as you think.
I'm not saying he's great.
You're not making a Porzingis claim.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm making he would be a good addition as the 15th man on our bench claim.
Okay, fair enough. Are we done with free agents?
We're done with free agents, yes.
Should we do? I had a couple of debates topics. You want to do? Let's debate. Just in honor of Steven, who has been, for no reason, Steven, our number one fan, is really into the Sixers.
I don't know if he's super into the Sixers. He's definitely super defensive of them.
Yeah, no. So he's not into them as much as like when you rip on their strategy or their management. He seems to get annoyed, and so I'm going to take the part of defending the Sixers strategy, and Jay could take the part of
the realistic human being.
Yes. So I'm going to actually, I'm not going to do it. It's going to be the Philly Fanatic fan who's going to do it. Hi, Jay. I'm the Philly Fanatic fan. The voice is terrible. I don't know what voice. What voice should I use? A voice in this?
Just use your own voice.
What's up?
Just use your own voice.
Okay, I'm the Philly fan here, Jay, and I'm going to make an argument with you that everything is happening with the Sixers is going really well. I'm very excited with this team, and we're heading in the right direction.
Right.
We are smart because we know when to lose, and we know this will equal winning. So there is that. You can't deny facts.
So you finally draft some players after tanking, and then you trade those players you drafted. So what's the end game of trading everyone you draft?
Jay, can I ask you a question? How often do you go to a Knicks game?
Why does it even matter?
Jay, I'm asking you questions. How often do you go to Knicks games? You go very often?
No.
How expensive are the tickets?
Too expensive.
Give me a range. How much do you think it costs to go to a Knicks game?
The tickets that used to be $10 are now $60 to $70.
Do you know the 76ers now may pay me $10 for every game I go to? They can't get it's dirt cheap. They're paying us to go to the games now.
Okay, well that's a good.
So I get to see a Sixers game anytime I want to make $10.
Mm-hmm.
So there, I can see my team anytime I want because I can see Nerlens Noel develop as much as I want because the tickets are awesome. You can't even see your team. So hot.
What does that have to do with a good basketball strategy?
It's a good basketball strategy. We're building a winning organization here. Also, you know, I have a kid, and my kid, he doesn't have to think, oh, hey, you have to be an all-star in college and be a top draft pick to play in the NBA. The Sixers show us that anyone, you don't need to be drafted or good in college or good in the pros. They'll give you playing time. They're a working man's club.
That is a point, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, they set a good example for our youths.
What about the fact that 2 guys you drafted 2 years ago, neither have played a minute in the NBA?
So here's another thing, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you watch a lot of dramas on TV?
Yeah.
Do you know what's really dramatic when they have the will he or won't he? We have a whole drama going with will he play for us? Won't he play? Tune in next week for the 76ers show. So each year we have a cliffhanger. We're like, will Embiid play for us next year? So far it hasn't worked out with him playing, but I'm going to tune in next year to find out.
Well, that's just great basketball strategy. You've totally swayed my opinion.
Yeah, yes. It's working out really well. And you know what? Some Philly fans have gone crazy and say they missed the days of Andrew Bynum bowling for us. But not me. I realize this is going really well. I actually think if I lose my job, I might just go play for the Sixers. It's possible these days.
That is true.
Also, are there people that don't like the Knicks?
Yeah. Communists.
Do your star players ever beat those people up?
No, they don't.
Our players if you talk trash about our team, they'll punch you.
You get a little bit of a personal touch with your team.
The Sixers go all out. They defend our fanhood by punching random people outside of pizza places at 3 a.m.
Do they scream about how rich they are while they're doing it?
Most of our team makes league minimum, so probably not.
Okay.
Well, actually, one guy did that. Actually, yeah. Okay, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go eat a cheesesteak and whatever the hell we do in Philly.
All right. So before we get to the questions, Kevin Meng wrote a article on our website, the NewYorkKnicksPodcast.com. 3 realistic trade scenarios for the Knicks.
Thank you, Kevin, for writing the article. We really appreciate it.
And no thank you, all those people on Twitter who yelled at us for this.
So I didn't really, I haven't really read I haven't had a chance to. I had a busy weekend. I haven't had a chance to really read it closely. And Jay said he would just tell me about it on the show.
Right. So let's just go through the 3 trade scenarios. There's actually there's a lot of good humor peppered into this article too. I thought it was good.
It's a very well written article I haven't read yet. But I'm going to read it very soon, and you should read it too because we have content on the Knicks site, and we need you to read our content.
Yes, and Tuesday I'll post the Knicks player power rankings again.
I have a question for you also. Just a small point about the Knicks. Why did the Knicks ever give the ball to Robin Lopez at the top of the arc?
I have no idea.
They do it a lot, right?
Too much.
They do it all the time. No one goes near Robin Lopez because they know, or they go there. They go right. They know he's going to pass the ball, so they try to steal the ball from him.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of turnovers because of stuff like that.
It's just like it's more. If you would need to give it to a big man as part of this triangle, give it to say Porzingis because if you back off him, he'll shoot a 3, or if you overly guard the pass, he can drive the ball. Giving it to Lopez, it just makes no sense.
It doesn't.
You give it to Lopez, you know he has to pass. He can't do anything else.
It's almost like they're just trying to force it for some reason.
They're just trying to force. Do you think they should bail on the triangle at this point?
Probably.
I don't see the huge. People are saying like, well, the Knicks can play the triangle and blah blah blah. Is there a huge benefit of playing the triangle at this point? Haven't leagues ruled like the rules have changed enough that like maybe playing the triangle isn't as helpful?
Right, because the league is based on inside and outside shots, and the triangle gets you long 2s.
Yeah. I mean, on the Knicks, they say also the Knicks defensively right now, what they focus on is stopping the 3-point shots and stopping people from shooting by the basket.
Yeah.
They don't do that great of a job of it. They're getting killed in the paint, but they're trying to. And they say you can beat us with the long 2s. That's their strategy on defense, yet they did the exact opposite strategy for offense.
Right. Yeah,
it's like weird. It's like they don't talk to them the defensive half of their brain.
Yeah.
Okay, go to the article. Go to the.
Okay, so this is to Houston. The Knicks trade Carmelo, Calderon, and Amundsen, and Houston gives us
Why is Amundsen like? I like the fact it's fine that they included him. I'm sure it matched for money, but like you could have just said Carmelo. You could just, what was it? Carmelo. Who were the players?
Calderon.
Carmelo, Calderon. And someone else. That would have been just as good as saying the word Amundsen.
Houston trades Lawson, Beverly, Brewer, KJ McDaniels, Terrence Jones, a 2018 and a 2020 first-round pick.
Wow, the first-round pick's coming soon.
Yeah.
I'd rather get a first-round pick this year. That's what kills me on that trade.
People on Twitter were saying that Houston was giving up way too much.
Well, they want to get rid of Lawson.
Right. Beverly's always injured. Corey Brewer hardly plays. McDaniels doesn't play, and Jones is a nice piece.
Yeah, I don't hate the trade for the Knicks. I feel like I would also take a chance on Ty Lawson. I don't see why you wouldn't. He was pretty good a year ago.
Our boy Tommy D hated this one.
Why do I get Ty Lawson's not working well out in Houston, but he wasn't bad. If you asked last year, everyone would have taken Ty Lawson on the Knicks.
Yeah. I don't think people realized how bad his alcoholism was last year.
He's an alcoholic?
Are you being serious?
I didn't realize Ty Lawson's an alcoholic.
Are you serious?
No, I'm serious. I'm being honest. I did not realize.
You didn't
Is
know
that why he sucks now?
You didn't know he's had 3 DWIs in like the last 2 years?
I may have like heard that, but I didn't really like. I didn't realize he's an
all right,
alcoholic.
let's just put it this way: the NBA provides their players drivers, and he still got 3 DWIs.
I don't know how people do that. That was like the Jason Kidd. You're like, hey, you're rich, and they'll give you a driver.
Right.
How annoyed must you be in the NBA office every time you hear like a player like gets a DWI? You're like, we're offering you a free driver.
Right.
You have to just don't get in your damn car. We will drive you and have someone else drive your car home.
Plus, a cab costs like $20, and you make $1 million. You could do that too.
Speaking of just money, not to take a different. I was just also just on a totally side note. When Lopez's played each other, 2 things. First, my wife was watching me for a little bit, and I was like, "Oh, then like this is interesting because of the Lopez brothers." She's like, "They're brothers." I'm like, "Actually, they're twins." She's like, "They're 7-foot twins." My wife, she was just like, astounded by that. But also, did you hear that how the Lopez brothers were going to room together when Robin came to New York, and they didn't room together because their cats wouldn't get along?
Yeah.
Dude, that's funny, but all I kept picturing, I'm like, they each make like $15 to $20 million a year. What kind of place do you think they share?
I mean, it would probably just be a huge, gigantic place.
I mean, obviously they're not doing the save on money to share. I went to La La Land just thinking like, wow, I wish I could like live in their place. They're sharing.
Yeah, if they got room for a 7-foot guy, I think they could fit a 6-foot guy pretty easily.
You know, I'm going to share a place. I'm just talking to like a broker. I'm going to share a place with my brother. Yeah, we're just going to try to save on rent. Do you have a place that like, I don't know, $1 million a month?
Did you see Robin Lopez fight another the Bucks mascot?
Yeah. What's the deal with him fighting all the
He hates mascots, so he like beats them up everywhere he goes. I don't know if you've seen on YouTube. There's a compilation. I'm just finding out about this. There's a compilation on YouTube of. Apparently, this has been going on for years. He fights all the mascots.
But he looks like a mascot.
Yeah.
Okay. What? So I guess I don't want Ty Lawson anymore if he's an alcoholic. But I don't think he's going to add. That's going to add well to the team.
He's an expiring.
What do you say?
He's an expiring.
Oh. Anyway, okay, go to the next. That trade doesn't seem horrible. I don't think it's that bad for Houston because Houston wants a big 3. So yeah, I don't know.
Chicago.
And Calderon actually fits in well with their system. He's a good 3-point shooter. So
well, he would take Beverly's spot.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad system. And like, wow, like another guy doesn't play defense. Like, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Although, I would just love to see that starting lineup, though.
How much?
Think how bad a starting lineup defense would be with Calderon, Harden, Melo. I guess you'd have Howard when he's not injured, and I don't even know who would be at the 4 at that point.
How much better is Patrick? He's better than Langston Galloway, but isn't he just like a better Langston Galloway?
Yeah. Plus, he's always injured.
Yeah, that part doesn't help either. But I don't know if he's that much better than Galloway that you're like, we got so much better. He's better, though. I'm not like arguing he's not. But okay, so what's the next trade?
Apparently, Robin Lopez explained the mascot thing on the Bill Simmons podcast. If you have a link, that would be awesome.
Okay, or you could just tell us what he said. But we could do some research for the show and listen to every Bill Simmons one until we find
it. Bulls. Knicks trade Carmelo, Stupid Hair McGee, Amundsen, and Early. And Chicago trades Noah, Gibson, Miritek, McDermott, Snell, a 2016 and a 2018. So this is the one I thought was way too lopsided.
You mean the Bulls are giving up way too much?
Yeah.
I mean, we're not giving up much. I mean, I don't understand. Like, we're giving up Melo and a bunch of filler.
Right.
I would love to get Taj Gibson. I think he's really good. Noah is a salary dump for them, I guess, and Noah's been looking bad. I understand he's been looking really bad lately, but I feel like he's a year and a half removed from being Defensive Player of the Year.
Right, but then Miritek, McDermott, and Snell are all like young, nice pieces.
Yeah, I don't know why the Bulls do this trade. I mean, that seems a little too much for the Bulls.
Yeah.
Because it almost seems like you're gutting the team to get Melo, which the Bulls aren't going to do.
Right.
I would do, if you want to line up like the 2016-2018 pick, give us Noah, give us Taj Gibson, and someone else to match salary. That might be more reasonable. Would you do something like that?
Yeah.
Because you're really just dumping Melo for draft picks at that point,
Right.
which is not and they're actually not in the best draft picks. So I don't know. So the argument for the Mets, there was a whole article in the on ESPN about the Knicks now and what they were thinking. They claim they've never thought about trading Melo, which I'm sure they all think about every breathing hour.
Right.
But I guess the thought was that if the Knicks were going to trade Melo, it would make sense because Porzingis is not going to start contributing right away, and so you're going to build around Porzingis. So you trade Melo, get some young pieces, start building a young team. But everyone in the Knicks organization was really thrown off at how well Porzingis has contributed so far, and you start thinking, hey, you know what? We could actually be competitive right now, and it would be helpful to have Porzingis learn from a guy who's like a player like Melo. It would actually make some sense to keep him around because what you're going to get for him is not going to be that. Whatever you trade him for, you're not winning a title anytime soon. So it may make more sense to keep Melo and because Porzingis basically keep Melo because Porzingis is playing so well.
Yeah, because they're going to definitely win a championship.
There was also a whole thing about how the return, like trading Melo, is going to be a lot harder than everyone thinks.
Oh yeah. All right, let's do this last one real quick because we have a lot of questions and we're already almost at an hour.
Okay.
This one's a 3-way trade. Knicks trade Melo to Miami. Miami trades Winslow, Tyler Johnson, Josh McRoberts, and Chris Anderson to New York, and Dang to Indiana. Indiana trades Stuckey to Miami and Chase Budinger to New York, and a 2017 first-round pick.
Hey, Miami, you know how you're doing really well, playing really good defense? How would you like to not play defense anymore?
Yeah, give us your 2 best defensive guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with doing it. I don't think Miami's going to do it. Did people like this trade?
No.
I mean, this is the best for the Knicks, but I just don't see them trading Winslow.
Right. I mean, Indiana, I guess that's fine for them. They get Dang and they give up Stuckey. That's fine. But I don't think Miami does it. I think New York and Indiana say yes, and Miami says no.
So on ESPN, in the ESPN article, they went through the different scenarios for trading him, and they had some good points here. Just to add to the trading Melo scenarios, they said the Pelicans, a package of Drew Holiday, Ryan Anderson, and draft picks would work, but Holiday can't stay on the floor, and Anderson's an impending free agent. It would be helpful for the Pelicans. Would the Knicks really do that? And would Melo go to the Pelicans because he has the no trade clause?
No, he would definitely not go to New Orleans.
But that would make sense. That would make sense if he wants to build like Melo plus Anthony Davis would be pretty good.
Yeah.
They said the Miami thing, you could do some interesting deals around Dragic or Dang, but the Knicks would ask for Winslow, and the Heat are never going to trade Winslow.
Yeah.
They really like him too much. I would do some kind of package for Dang, and also they're not going to trade Dragic. They just got Dragic. You think Miami's that dissatisfied with Dragic right at this point?
No, he's been bad.
He has been bad, but I still don't think. You think they give up on him this fast?
No, I don't think they will.
They said the Phoenix would make sense with some kind of Brandon Knight center deal, which again I don't think Phoenix is going to trade Brandon Knight. But then they made the point in the article that Chandler hates Melo, so why are you going to make that trade?
Yeah.
The Bulls, they said basically between Noah and Rose being injured, and they're not going to do it. What they say, the Wizards. The Wizards could trade something like a Nene, Otto Porter, and 2 first-round picks for Anthony if they don't get Durant, because they're going to go all in for Durant.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was just basically it made you think about how like there's so because of you're so restricted on where you could trade him. Who's going to trade for Melo? I just don't see anyone. He seems really being that like he's not looking that great right so far. Also,
yeah. All right, let's move on.
Okay, let's move on.
We didn't even say that Porzingis was Eastern Conference Rookie of the Month.
Oh yeah,
for they combined October and November. So
that's pretty good,
yeah.
Jay. You're so far doing well in your prediction.
So Towns was Western Conference. I think it's going to be a lot of Porzingis and Towns.
Here's a question to you: what do you want to see if you're going to go? And Porzingis was coming into your office, Jay, and said, "Please evaluate me, Jay. What do I need to do better?"
Let's see.
Jay, you're like my dad. You told the Knicks to draft me. Tell me, what should I do better? I am from Lafayette. I don't know what to do better.
I want to see you put a body on guys when you're boxing out. A lot of times you get in position, you don't body up the guy, and then he goes around you.
A body? I barely have a body. You see how thin I am? That would be a good idea, Jay.
And just keep practicing that 3-point shot.
Yeah, I just don't like they pass me the ball a lot, and I'm open, but I don't want to shoot. Like I feel like we should share the ball.
Yeah, don't do that.
What else I got to do? I want to be perfect for you, Jay. I want you to love me like you love Larry Bird.
What else? I would say, I would say do more pick and rolls, but you need a better point guard.
Do you, Jay, when you make love to your girlfriend, you think about me?
Well, this is getting a little creepy, Porzingis.
Yes, it would. Look at creepier. Let's keep going.
I would say just drive more.
Do you say that to your girlfriend when you drive inside of her? When you think about me?
Hook shots. Perfect.
Hook shots would be good. Hook shot. I need to do the hook shot. What else should I do with my game? Should I be more aggressive?
A little bit more aggressive. Maybe practice that Dirk 1 foot lean away shot. It's unguardable.
Jay, would you be aggressive with me if we were showering next to each other?
I also think you have to. All right, let's just move on.
Okay, so we have questions.
Yeah, Twitter at NY Knicks Podcast. Gucci Dean writes, "Why?"
By the way, Golden State is 21-0. By the way,
22. They just won. They beat the Nets today.
Holy shit!
It's unbelievable.
They are just.
They're still winning by an average of like 12 points a game too. It's not even like they're close.
Would you say Stephen Curry now is the best player in the league? Like, has he topped LeBron?
I think he has. I mean, he stepped up his defense significantly, and everyone in the league knows he's shooting a 3, and he still managed to hit these ridiculous shots.
I mean, it has gotten absurd.
Yeah. I mean, the shots he hits on a daily basis, the degree of difficulty, and he's shooting. He's going to be one of the few players ever to join the 50-40-90 club, which is 50% from the field, 40% from threes, and 90% from free throw line.
Yeah, I guess he'll join a lot of Knicks.
Yeah.
How close are they to being like? I mean, obviously they have to win the title this year, but like if they win the title this year, are they going to go down as one of the great teams?
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, they already have the best start in history and blew it away by 7 games and counting.
Yeah, it is insane how good they are.
I mean, even if they finish with like, wins in the high 60s, if they tear through the playoffs, they'll be known as one of the best.
Yeah. I mean, there was on the radio, they were saying that this is already one of the best teams ever. And I'm like, well, they didn't actually win a second title yet. And they were not even halfway through their second season, but they are looking like they might be.
So there's only been 10 players ever in the 50-40-90 club.
Do you have the list? 'Cause I want to see if I can guess it.
Sure. Actually, there's repeats. So there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players in it.
Stockton?
No.
Steve Nash?
4 times.
Jesus.
2006, 8, 9, and 10, he did it.
Wow. How many players are it total?
There's 5 more players.
5 more players.
I would say you could probably guess 2 of them, and you're not going to guess the rest.
Are any of them like old timers?
I get the oldest one on there is from the 80s.
Oh wow. Well, they didn't count 3-pointers before a certain point. Also,
That is true.
so Stockton would have been my best. Who else is really good? Mark Price.
I can't believe you guessed that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you reading the chat room?
I don't even know how to get to the chat room.
Oh, okay.
I just remember him being a really good free throw shooter.
Yeah, because
I feel like that's the stat I'm trying to like. The really good free throw shooter and a good. And I'm struggling with the rest of them. Who else is really good? Ray Allen.
No.
No.
I'll give you a hint. He was a Knicks nemesis.
Ooh. Oh God. Miller.
Yeah.
Okay. Just tell me the other ones.
He was the greatest player of all time.
Mary Chalmers,
No.
LeBron, Michael Jordan.
Nope.
Who?
Larry Bird.
Oh God.
He made it twice. Shooting 40.0% from 3 1 year.
When do we put Porzingis on the list? Next year he's going to make the list.
Yeah. Let's see who the other two are. Dirk in his MVP year,
Oh, I should have guessed that one.
and Kevin Durant.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Also,
Yeah.
pretty good list.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steph Curry's good.
Knicks fan since Melo guessed Dirk.
Yeah. The
I
They
don't
say
think
the-
Karl Malone was a good enough. Somebody said Karl Malone. I don't think he was a good enough free throw shooter.
was he that good of a 3-point shooter?
He probably didn't take any. So, yeah, that's true. He didn't take.
I think you have to qualify for the list. Like,
Yeah, that's true too.
I mean, you can't just be like, I shot 1 3-pointer last year. Shot 1,000%.
Right.
Okay. Okay, go. Are we going to the questions, emails? What are you doing?
Yeah. Gucci Jean in Twitter writes, "Why did Porzingis play like he was on the court for the first time against the Bucks?"
Because Porzingis is actually the guy from Memento. He has no idea, no memory of anything that happened before this. I think the Bucks played like they. I mean, in fairness, the Bucks also kind of played like they'd faced him before and defended him pretty hard. They did a pretty good job defending him.
Yeah.
They basically did a lot to prevent him from getting the ball. He had one good putback, which was nice.
Also, he's going to have bad games from time to time. He's 20.
He had 12. He wasn't terrible, but the one thing I think from teams are keying in on the fact that they know Porzingis goes for the putbacks, so they try to prevent that more. So
Right.
you're gonna get less putbacks because people are gonna actually put a body on you now.
Holy crap, we're over an hour already.
Okay, well we're almost done.
No, we're not. Jorge writes, "Why don't the Knicks get calls?"
Do you remember when you used to try to make the show 45 minutes?
I know.
If we were doing twice a week, I'd be a little more upset.
Yeah.
Because they don't flop like everyone else, and the refs bet money against the Knicks.
I think they complain a lot, and I think it gets on the refs' nerves. But it's also like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Are they complaining because they don't get calls, or are they not getting calls because they're complaining?
Because Melo, I mean, on one hand, he complains a lot, and I wonder if that hurts him. But then, like every time, like LeBron gets a foul, he goes ape shit, complaining. So I don't know. I mean, like, do you think the refs purposely call less fouls against Melo because they don't like Melo?
I don't know. There's something weird going on.
Because he really does. I think it's just a matter of he doesn't flop enough. Because they really do hit Melo. Like when he goes in, he's not wrong. He's not like he's like pretending there's contact. There is a lot of contact, and like any other time any other player gets that contact, they get a foul call besides Melo.
Yeah. It's
I mean,
weird.
that's what we're really complaining about. It's not everyone else. It's Melo not getting calls.
It's annoying that you have to flail and do stuff like that to get calls, though.
I mean, I just don't understand. You can't be consistent about it. If Melo can get beat up and not get calls, just don't call every other touch foul out there.
Right.
I also have never seen so many moving screen fouls in one game in the Bucks game. Like, do we have to call so many moving screens? I feel like in general, unless they're really blatant, you should let them go.
Right.
Do you think moving screens are that big of a deal?
Not really. I mean, I feel like everyone does it.
Everyone does it. Yeah. Also, I feel like the Knicks don't do enough screens off the ball to get guys open.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lorenzo writes, did you see
Are there any emails, or is this
I'm
Twitter?
Oh.
on emails right now. nyknickspodcast@gmail.com.
Okay, what about do you want to start with Pinterest?
No.
What about Pornhub?
Maybe
Tinder?
next week. Lorenzo writes, did you see Kobe retired by writing a poem? Here are some others myself and a mate came up with that he could have used.
Okay.
Number 1, I'm old as shit and now I quit. Number 2, I'm getting old. It's not my fault. I'll just stick to sexual assault.
Wow. That's pretty good. You guys are good.
And the last one, Rosa Red, Violets are Blue. I'll be at home crying with my 22 million. Good stuff. Lorenzo
that
always,
was-
he's reliable for a good email every week.
That was really good. By the way, just on a side, So Chris Herring had a piece about the Knicks recently titled "The Knicks Still Missing Several Sides of Their Triangle." So you can see it's a positive article about the Knicks, and he was comparing last year's offense to this year's offense, and it's basically the exact same shit. Mid-range shot last year they were number one in percentage of mid-range shots. This year they're number one. Last year they were 30th in the league in fast break points per game. This year they're 30th in the league. Actually doing less fast. They're actually one less fast break point a game. This was like 2 games ago.
So Fisher's really evolved as a coach, is what you're saying.
Their pace last year they were 28th in the league in pace. This year they're 28th in the league in pace.
Okay,
they're actually slightly faster than last time. They have two more possessions, but it's still 28th. Percentage of shots at the rim. Last year the Knicks were 30th in the league for percentage of shots at the rim. This year they're 27th.
How are they not terrible if they're like?
And because they're playing defense, their defense is a lot better than last year.
That is true.
And last year they were 3-point attempts per game. They were 21st in the league, and now they are 22nd in the league.
All right.
So basically, the offense is still god awful.
Yeah, it is.
And the only reason they're winning games is because their defense is a lot better. But they have a ways to go. It's almost like the triangle doesn't work. Let's scrap it and play more open and see how it works. See how this team can play.
Yeah, they're just gonna stick with it. They're gonna be so stubborn about this triangle forever.
I mean, it's like I don't know. I mean, we all bought into the triangle, some magical thing, but you know what? Phil Jackson's not even coaching the goddamn team. So like, Derek Fisher, just do something else.
Okay. Michael writes, they put Lance Thomas in for Melo. That was the game Melo was sick.
Yeah.
And so out of all the players on the team, they thought Lance Thomas could most emulate Melo's production. And they also drew up the last play of the game for Lance Thomas.
He did actually have a pretty decent stat line in that game. But yeah, it's ridiculous.
I couldn't believe they drew up the last play of the game for him. It's like, hey, you know how we do ISO Melo and he jacks up a 3? Why don't you do that, Lance Thomas?
I mean, his understudy's playing. Let's give the exact. Yeah, that made me angry. We were talking about that. I think that was maybe after the show we were talking about that.
Yeah.
That made me really angry.
Yeah, these questions came in like right after we finished recording last week.
Yeah.
Michael writes, Rockets game, Fisher's beard was accurate. Looked like he started wizard training at Hogwarts. Get ready for a few more grays. Lorenzo writes, last week you talked about trading Melo for Ariza, who's old, Brewer, who's old, and Lawson, who's drunk. It doesn't seem right. Why not get a bunch of younger guys, KJ McDaniels at small forward or Terrence Jones at power forward, although we do need more in the backcourt, and Houston doesn't have a lot there either. Well, the proposed trade today had almost every single one of those guys you mentioned and 2 draft picks. So how about that?
I think the proposed trade today was Melo, Cleanthony Early, Calderon for every person that lives in Houston.
Okay, last email. Hey guys, 2 months already in the books, and what are your takeaways from the team so far, good and bad? Also, out of the top 4 rookies, one has underperformed majorly in LA, the other can't stay out of trouble off the court in Philly, and the last rookie is in a city where there is nothing to do in the middle of nowhere. Is there any chance our rookie could be Rookie of the Year? There's more questions, so why don't we just take these one at a time?
Yeah, I think it might be close with him and Towns. Why not?
I think it's definitely going to come down to those 2.
Yeah.
Good and bad, I think you will hear throughout this show.
Have you heard so for some reason Towns doesn't play in the fourth quarter anymore?
Really?
Yeah, the Minnesota seems to sit him in the fourth quarter now.
Oh, good.
With a game on the line and Minnesota being such a good team, they have to make sure they have the best players on the court. I don't know why, but they're not playing him in the fourth anymore. And they said like we don't want to burn him out, which I think you might want to give your young guy, I don't know, experience in the fourth quarter. You know, the most important part of the game.
Right.
Okay, but whatever.
Who do you think it's going to come down to? We answered that. On the topic of rookie, who I call Six God, which I would hope catches on, hopefully. Anyways, the All-Star game, do you think he deserves to be in the All-Star game as a starter, or is it still too early? He's not going to get in as a starter because you have too many stars in the...
He's not going to play in the All-Star team.
Well, yeah, that too. But, I mean, to get the starter position, you have to be voted in, and he's not going to get a vote over LeBron and Paul George. And
I don't know. They might get a lot of votes from Lafayette. He's as much as we like him and he's playing well, his numbers aren't all-star numbers yet. So let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
He'll play in the rookie game, and I'll be very happy.
P.S. Team Mark is the best team in the league. No offense, Jay, but you're more like the Falcon to Mark's Captain America. Oof.
Yeah, he called you Falcon.
Yeah. Also, what are your thoughts on the new Batman versus Superman trailer? Have you seen it?
I watched it. I don't like the guy playing Superman or the guy playing Batman.
I just think there's pretty much never been a good Superman movie, so I have no faith in this one being good.
It really actually has not been a good Superman movie. I don't understand how you like. He's a fun enough character.
He's like one of the most iconic characters of all time, and they just can't make a good movie out of it. It's weird.
I mean, the first Superman, like,
I guess in the 80s that one was okay, but like watching it now, it's brutal.
yeah, that one's like the Batman. There's the one with Michael Keaton was even watching it now. It's a fun movie.
Yeah.
The ones with Christian Bale are good, and you even have the '80s TV show, which is like it's like very cheesy but kind of fun to watch.
The 60s one?
60s, not the, yeah, the '60s one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, why are we asking? Why are we answering the show question for Brink? I mean, not on Brink.
Well, I don't know. Okay.
Do you think it's going to be good?
No, I don't.
I mean, you watch I don't like the guy playing Superman, and then you watch that, and then Ben Affleck shows up, and you're like, oh, this is only gonna get worse.
I think Ben Affleck's probably the best part of that cast.
I don't mind Ben Affleck. I don't know. I think it should have been Ben Affleck and like Matt Damon, just like, and they should, like the whole time Superman also does math problems.
Okay, that's it for our emails.
Okay,
so we
Twitter?
are an hour and 20 minutes into the show, so let's try and go fast for these Facebook.
We have Twitter questions.
Oh, we did those.
Oh, we did Twitter already? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Should I stutter while I read them? George writes, with Porzingis and Towns winning the Rookie of the Month awards, do you think there will be a tight race for the award? Do they separate from everyone else? And is there a possibility of a repeat with Jason Kidd and Grant Hill combined Rookie of the Year? Or is Towns more the standout?
Towns seems like he's coming back down to earth, so I think this is going to be really close.
Porzingis will come back down to earth also.
Yeah.
They'll both have up and down games. I think it's going to be pretty close.
Yeah.
I don't think Okafor is definitely a third. I don't think anyone else is going to come close.
Yeah.
George writes, thoughts on Tim Hardaway being assigned to the D League. Thoughts?
Hilarious.
Yeah. George writes, will Porzingis have the pulling power in free agency in the future? And what rookies in his class or others do you see him teaming up with in the future? How will Porzingis build his big three out of this?
Porzingis, Towns, and Moutier?
I don't know if I want Moutier on my team. You think Moutier's been good?
No, he's not, but he's got his turnovers down a little bit. And
can't shoot.
And if he learns to shoot, then you'd want him.
Yeah. Do you think he'll have pulling power in free agency?
I do, yeah.
I would have to say too. I mean, I think people will look at him as being one of the up and coming players. And
Gilliam wrote, "What do you think of this? Melo to Boston for David Lee, and the Nets unprotected 2016 first rounder."
Oh,
the Nets, because Boston owns the Nets pick.
Yeah. No, so that pick is going to be really high.
Yeah, that's probably a top 3 pick. I
would do that trade. I would want to get maybe one other piece from the Celtics, but
I mean, if that pick turns into Ben Simmons,
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine?
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you know what the problem with that is? Why would Melo approve going to the Celtics? They're not good enough that he'd want to go there.
That's true.
I think he's only going to go to a team that's going to be. He's not going to go to a team that's going to be. He wants to go. He's going to go to a team where he thinks his chances of like going far in the playoffs are going to be better.
Well, it's also got to be good for his brand, and Boston's not good for his brand.
Yeah, got to be good for his brand. I heard some comment actually that just as far as Melo, that actually like charity work wise, he actually does real charity work.
Well, that's good.
Like his foundation, they say a lot of NBA players' foundations are bullshit, and they say actually Melo's foundation actually does real stuff.
Maybe when he's promoting his brand, he should make that more known.
Yeah, I don't know jack shit about his brand, but that's he should promote that. Okay, Francisco writes, will Kristaps get better than Dirk?
I don't want to say. Dirk's one of the best power forwards ever. It's way too early to say that.
Apparently, George responds here. Dwayne Casey said already he is especially on the defensive end. He filled up the stats that Dirk never did. Said that in the Toronto game.
Well, that's true. He's definitely blocking at a higher level than Dirk ever did.
Yeah, I mean, he's rebounding. Dirk didn't really rebound earlier on in his career.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the big thing also is he's a lot taller than Dirk. I mean, what is Dirk, 6'10"?
No, Dirk's 7 feet.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay. Either way, he got 3 inches on Dirk. And the chances of him being better than Dirk are pretty low because Dirk is one of the best in the league. But he's probably better laterally. I don't know. He's very athletic. I love my Porzingis. I'm sold. He's my favorite player on the Knicks.
Yeah, it didn't take long.
It didn't take me long. I mean, like he's just fun to watch. He's the best part. Like I'm sad when he goes to the bench.
He's got such a great attitude too. That's the thing.
He's so humble. They asked him after that first great game he had. They were like, he was like, it's about the team, and it's about me just trying to. For me, it's about trying to do this night in and night out, like Melo does.
Yeah, he's like, oh, it's just one game. It doesn't mean anything. Like,
he actually complimented Melo. Melo's like, I don't do that night in and night out. That's why we're losing. Chris Porzing writes, what do you think about KP finally earning a spot at Anthony's dinner table? Lala is intrigued with KP, apparently. I
am definitely interested in all things Lala.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Can you? I just can't. I have trouble picturing Melo and Porzingis interacting.
Yeah, I know.
At dinner.
I saw them joking around on the bench one game though. They were showing Porzingis on the cam, and he was like waving to fans, and Melo was like giving him crap.
Well, one of the things they say with Melo is he gets jealous of like other guys. The reason like Jeremy Lin, they got rid of him. Part of the reason they say is because Melo just got jealous of all the attention he's getting. Do you think Melo in any way is again going to get jealous of Porzingis?
I have to say, acting like a brat is definitely good for your brand.
Well, yeah, forget that. But like, do you think, like realistically, do you think Melo gets annoyed at all by Porzingis' attention?
I don't think yet, because I think it's kind of like I think he thinks it's a fad. But if this keeps on like 40, 50 games from now, I think he's going to start getting annoyed. I think right now he thinks it's funny.
So they said he made a comment, something along the lines of like they were asking him about it earlier on in the year, and he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "They're like, are you surprised how well he's playing?" And he's like, "No, we see it in practice."
Mm-hmm.
But he kind of said it, kind of blowing the guy off. And the defense, they said in Melo's defense, they said like everyone gets asked about is Porzingis, to a point where like maybe he's getting annoyed just by being asked about Porzingis so much.
Yeah.
But I feel like Melo might say like Porzingis is also a little bit more complimentary to his game.
Yeah,
I don't know. They say the stats have shown that when Porzingis is on the court, Melo his stats are much better than when he's off the court.
Interesting.
He was shooting like 45% with Porzingis on the floor, and then like 37% with Porzingis off the floor.
Yeah, I mean the Knicks don't have a lot of other guys that take attention away from Melo.
Speaking of guys that are playing well, also Aflalo is playing pretty well.
He is.
Chris Porzing writes, now that the All-Star voting has begun, do you expect to see KP make the All-Star appearance this year? The last rookie All-Star appearance was Blake. I think we already addressed this, but Jay, when you fill out your All-Star bracket or your All-Star ballot, are you going to vote for Porzingis?
Oh, that's right. They changed the voting now. Instead of like a group they select before the season starts, like you can vote for anybody.
Yeah, so you're going to vote for him?
Sure, why not?
Ollie writes, "Are you going to stuff the ballot?"
No, I don't
Ollie
care that
writes,
much.
Now that we are 20 games in, pretty much, how many games do you think we will win this season, given the best case, most realistic, and worst case? Mine are 45 wins best, 41 wins realistically, 37 wins worst case. Sounds pretty. That seems pretty good, Ollie.
Yeah, I would agree. Worst case, I would go a little lower.
Okay.
I would go like 25 for worst case, just because like if Melo gets injured, this could derail really quick. But I agree with 45 and 41.
I would go 10 wins for worst case. That would really be as low as we can go for worst case.
Yeah.
Jesse writes, what brings a bigger smile to your face? Tim Hardaway Jr. being sent to the D League or Barks missing for Friday's game with an injury?
D League, I actually wanted Barks to play and just screw up so bad.
Yeah, I think Barks is more of a nightmare to teams when he plays than when he's injured.
Yeah.
Ali writes, I have to get this off my chest. I've noticed that some fans feel KP is being overhyped. Well, how about stop complaining and whining and be happy that we have a big that's consistent on both ends of the floor. Yes, the media and analysts are stat crazy. How long have we all watched basketball and get some act surprised that a player will get them a lot of attention or get hyped up? Then you get mad and say, yes, overhyped because he had a 4-game losing streak. That's why I'm glad we ended the streak, because some fans just love to complain. If you mad we lost that many games, then say so, but don't flip on Porzingis and say he's fool's gold because we lost 4 games in a row. What do you think?
Yeah, exactly. You know, Frank Isola doesn't even tweet when the Knicks win. It's like he hates when the Knicks win.
I saw that on Twitter. That's not true.
I went on his Twitter. He didn't tweet at all for the Knicks 2 wins.
Really?
Literally not a tweet.
Wow. Everyone overreacts a little bit. My biggest fear with Porzingis is going to get injured. I don't know. I feel like it's too good to be true with him.
I'm not talking about Porzingis and injuries. I'm not even going to acknowledge that.
I guess if you want to say fear, is the fear he doesn't take it to the next level. Because right now he's good, but the next level is where everyone's expecting. Everyone's getting excited about.
Yeah.
So is he a guy that has a tremendous ceiling but never gets there? Would be outside of the injury thing is the real concern. But I can't see how he's not going to get better and better.
Right.
I mean, he seems to even make smart passes. Ali writes, say what you want, but Grant refuses to go left. Yeah, he's having an okay game, but that shit ticks me off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just hoping this is rookie things.
Yeah, I think guys get better. I mean, most players take a few years to get good. Even Kawhi Leonard, who we love, like if you look at his stat, I mean, every year he gets better, and now he's finally like one of the best players in the game. But took a while.
Yeah.
Ali writes, it's very few players that come in and just dominate right away. Ali writes, I noticed Melo is looking real flat with his shots. If he's not attacking the basket, he needs to pass the damn ball. But then again, when he does attack the basket, he gets mobbed and almost killed and gets no calls. So I see why he's hesitant.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to get frustrating game after game to have that happen.
It's also, I've noticed that every time he hits a 3-point shot, he's automatically going to miss 2 more. Like he just what I hate the most is when he kills a possession. Like they dribble on the court, he just jacks one up with 20 seconds left on the shot clock, and then we have to watch the other team run back up the court.
Well, I feel like he does what JR does, where when he hits a shot, he'll then start taking increasingly difficult shots until he misses.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, Becom made a good point that if he was 17-10 with 2 blocks a game for his whole career, that's still good. I mean, that's still really good.
I would be very satisfied. He would still be a solid player on your team.
Yeah.
He's been 17-10 the last couple of games, right?
Yeah.
He's top 10 in the league in double doubles.
Yeah. Last I checked, he was 7th.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I actually am shocked that's true. Ali writes, why aren't refs held accountable when they F up? NBA announces F-ups by refs during Knicks and Rockets. We already know this, but announcing it and there being no consequence for officials is the powder before the smack in the face.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they are held accountable. Like, and they do have reviews, but they don't make them public.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're not allowed to even say anything about them.
Well, I feel like it's Jay's been playing Candy Crush. Are you playing Candy Crush?
Yeah, I was.
How did Steven know that?
Because we do a live video chat now.
Why are you playing Candy Crush?
This show's been going on for like an hour and a half.
What maybe it would go faster if you're not playing Candy Crush.
The phone is away. I'm not playing Candy Crush anymore.
I can't believe you're playing Candy Crush. What the hell is wrong with you? Why are you so... Forget the fact that you're bored of our show and you're doing Candy Crush. Why? Forgetting that you're bored of our show. Why do you even play Candy Crush? Are you with a 12-year-old girl?
No.
But that's the only people that play Candy Crush are 12-year-old girls. Just say I'm a 12-year-old girl and we'll move on with the show.
I like puzzle games.
Oh, my God. Ollie writes, they say every good NBA team has a great pennant. Oh, the other thing with the refs, I think, is that the NBA's thought is that once you start criticizing the refs, it's going to downgrade. Everyone's going to think the games are fixed, or it's going to hurt. No one's going to have respect for the ref. They think it's a downward spiral, basically.
Right. Although if they stopped actually, I don't even want to get into
It's hard. I don't think their job is that easy either. Ali writes, they say every good NBA team has a great penetrating and creating point guard, and before you assume this is about getting rid of Calderon, even though you're right, it's not because he can't penetrate or create, even though he can't. It's because he can't stop anyone from doing it. Every team we face has an all-star point guard with Calderon playing D. I feel like the entire New York fandom is fed up with this guy, and I'm one of them. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Andrew writes, I agree with you. And the Knicks have not in my lifetime had an NBA point guard that could do any of those things.
I don't really remember Mark Jackson. I started watching like the year after he left.
So outside of Mark Jackson, they've pretty much have struggled. Point guard's been pretty much a black hole for this team.
Yeah.
Andrew writes, any other throwback uniforms we should try out this year? I don't care about throwback uniforms at all. Ollie writes, Rockets are open to training Ty Lawson. Would you do it? I don't know. There's a lot of alcohol in New York.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was an alcoholic. I'm kind of done on that then. I don't think that's not gonna go well. Andrew writes, how are your fantasy teams going?
Not good.
I think I'm in 14th place.
Yeah, you've officially hit last place, and you're updating your team, right?
Kind of. I just hit the now that I know you can press one button to set your lineup, I just pressed that one button.
But you have that one guy. Who is that? I got to go to your team.
Jimmy Butler?
No, you have a guy who like hasn't played in like a month, and you're still like you're updating your lineup, but you're Miles Turner.
Oh, he hasn't played. I didn't even know he was on my team actually. I don't know. Cause, on the one hand, I'm like, I should start picking up and adding guys and dropping them to try to make my team better. Then I'm like, who cares?
Miles Turner hasn't played since November 11th.
I thought he's not playing too well for my team.
And let's see, my team is in ninth?
Yeah, Jay's updating and working really hard on it. Does it really sound like it's worthwhile for me to do that?
My team is in 10th. I've made 22 moves.
Oh my God, Jay!
And I am down 4-5 this week with like one game left to play.
So if I decide to make 20 moves, my team could be like terrible like yours.
I might win 5-4.
Oh, great!
Yeah.
Andrew writes, "Is Jay's cat better at shooting free throws than DeAndre Jordan?"
Is what?
Is Jay's cat better than shooting free throws than DeAndre Jordan?
Probably.
Remember DeAndre Jordan missed like 17
Yeah,
free throws?
probably comparable, yeah.
Okay. Harry Quinn writes, fire Fisher. Is there any chance at all Fisher gets fired this year?
No, not at all.
He's not getting fired in the regular season. He's also like, it's not even just he's a coach. He's Phil Jackson's choice. Phil Jackson has to admit he failed if he fires him.
Yeah.
Harry writes, and you think he's on a terrible, like, what do you think of his job?
Fisher, bad. I'm not liking it. I haven't seen that much improvement, really. It seems like he's still not writing good at a timeout plays. Still, end of game plays are still a mess.
Do you think in some ways that he's one thing that's hurting Fisher is that he has to play the triangle? He has to make some level of triangle work?
I don't know. I feel like they still ignore it half the time, and he's still bad.
Yeah, I mean, they don't seem like they're in triangle form. They don't do the triangle as much. But it does seem like he's a new coach trying to teach an outdated system that's kind of forced. Like, he's like, he can't.
It is a double whammy, but I still, there's other things. Like, his rotations seem weird. I don't like how he plays 13 guys sometimes, and like,
well, he'll argue the counterpoint would be that he's finally going to a tighter rotation now.
Yeah, he started it in a 30-point blowout. That's great.
All right, are we going to see the second coming of the great Jimmy Fredette?
I don't think so.
I don't think he'll be on the Knicks at any point. I don't think they're ever going to. Do you think they'll ever call him up?
He'd have to go on an extended hot streak because we need a point guard way more.
He's not bad.
Yeah, but I mean, a guy
does he play a little point guard? Like, is he?
He shoots threes. He does pretty much absolutely nothing else.
Well, no, he has a nice handle. He looks like the D League's Steph Curry.
Great.
Yeah. He looks like, you watch him play in the D League. I was watching the highlights of him. You're like, this guy's probably pretty good, but in the NBA, like they would just stop.
Well, I mean, undersized guards that don't play defense. We don't really need much more.
Harry writes, now that we have kind of enough Porzingis, what is the ceiling? Now that we have kind of enough of Porzingis, what is the ceiling realistically? I think 21 and 11 is his ceiling. Ceiling spelled
okay
in an unimaginable way. And Jay is crazy if you would not trade Porzingis for Anthony Davis. Like, really, that would make you instant finalists, final contenders, along with Melo and Davis.
Davis has literally never had a healthy season.
Davis also is already on another team that can't even make the playoffs. So I don't know if we were automatically in the finals with Davis.
Right.
But I think the health concerns is probably the bigger issue. So 21 and 11, is that the ceiling for him?
No. Why would that be his ceiling? He's already averaging 10 rebounds. Why would 11 be his ceiling? That's ridiculous.
What's his ceiling, Jay? You got to
20.
20 rebounds a game and high points.
30.
30, 20, 12 blocks a game?
Yeah. Ceiling. We're not talking about like what he's going to do. We're just saying he's not going to do more than that.
Harry writes, if Jay loves Porzingis so much, why does he not marry him? LOL. Jay, please answer.
He won't return my calls.
Mike writes, will Derek Fisher ever win Coach of the Month? He'll answer, hell, I'll answer for you. Fisher couldn't win Coach of the Day.
That is true.
That is true. Harry writes, hey, I can market the Knicks podcast. All I ask is to sign a contract saying Knicks podcast and all its content belong to me, and I could triple you guys' numbers. DM me if interested. You can fax or email you the contract. Okay, Jay, send it over. Harry writes,
what the hell is that?
What?
I just heard sending contracts and tripling our numbers. What the hell just happened?
I don't know. You're playing Candy Crush.
I'm not. The phone was down.
He said he could. I said if he can triple our numbers, we just have to sign a contract saying all the content belongs to Harry.
Oh, okay. I really believe you, Harry.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Jay doesn't even believe Harry exists. So
right. I don't even think you're a real person, Harry. So
yeah. Well, at least that's not his name. He thinks Harry's someone else in the group who's using two names.
3.
You think? Well, who do you think? You think Harry is Rosario?
Who is also William?
Okay. Harry writes, can we see Mark's wife in the video chat? His hot wife. Smiley face. Mark, just tell her I want to record you so when you get older, you remember how good you used to look. She's already asleep. Rosario writes, if I wanted to be the next full-time stat guy, what equipment would I need? 300 budget, such as a microphone or some other things, and computer program or so. Rosario, you need the ability to call us on Skype. That's how you would be the next stat guy.
Right. You also need to prove that you're not William and Harry. You can't be stat guy until I have proof of that.
Rosero writes, meeting for a Knicks game is a good idea. We should try. We should pay Jay via the donation account he has, like that. He can buy all our tickets together. And can we sit next to each other? No homo. Jay, what do you think of that idea?
Yeah, if you guys want to do that, that's fine.
Yeah. If some way you could pay Jay before we can get the tickets and we can all go together. Paul writes,
I like seriously, because I don't want to shell out hundreds of dollars for a game and then have 3 people say I'm in, and then I wasted like $600 on this outing. We should put more thought into that, though. It would be fun going to a game with everybody.
Jay, you want to at least? Jay's online. Like, if you buy a ticket to the game, you get a Knicks podcast T-shirt. Paul writes, do you guys feel sorry for Rolo? He kind of sounds dumb and just seems doofy in general. He also seems surprised/scared most of the time. That said, I'm not mad at how he plays.
I've been disappointed, but he's not a complete train wreck.
Didn't they go to Stanford?
I don't know. I don't follow.
Where did the Lopez brothers play? Wasn't it Stanford?
I don't know. I don't watch college at all. I watched like 3 college games ever.
Okay, Lopez plays for. Where's our stat guy? Where the hell? Plug in your damn thing so I don't have to look this up myself.
Did you get back from Best Buy yet, stat guy?
Stat guy, what the hell? Now I'm looking at Wikipedia myself. Yeah, they went to Stanford. So they can't be that stupid. Stanford seems like it's a pretty good school. I'm pretty sure none of us in the listening audience can get into Stanford.
Yeah.
And I feel bad. I feel like he could be utilized better. I don't know. There was one thing, I guess, at some point they played Rolo with the second string.
Mm-hmm.
And it was working out well. And maybe it would make sense to play him a little bit with the bench, because that way they'd have a better defensive presence.
Yeah.
Paul writes, are you surprised if Lalo is playing the way he's supposed to?
No, not really. This is kind of what I expected from him.
I mean, that's kind of a statement for all Knicks acquisitions. Are you surprised when they play the way they're supposed to?
Yeah.
Ollie writes, it's December. This is where we find out what kind of team we are going to have. Fisher and the other coaches need to get their heads out of their asses and find a consistent lineup. Also, they need to stop blowing leads. This team has talent, but we need to use them wisely. I won't be satisfied until we're 10 games over 500. I also won't be happy until we have a win streak of 5. Let's go Knicks. Time to get this shit in gear.
I could see getting 5 in a row. I don't think we're going to get 10 above 500, so you may not be happy.
Yeah.
See, now Mark's yawning. I get in trouble for Candy Crush. Mark's yawning right into his microphone.
That was bad. It is getting late. Grant writes, after the Knicks-Nets game, is Will a Nets fan crying because they lost or because they have Bargs? Will, could you please let us know? Paul writes, are you okay keeping Calderon for the season at this point, assuming he stays healthy? I'm kind of fine with keeping him at this point.
I'm starting to really space out. We can't do 2-hour shows.
Yeah, it's kind of long.
I think it's because we started late.
Yeah. You agree that it's not so bad keeping him, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Ali writes, I think we should get Kevin Durant or LeBron James. Maybe we should wait until 2017 and get Russell Westbrook or Derrick Rose. How about we get James Harden and make him shave his head? Or maybe we shave his beard. Or maybe we should trade Robin for Brook and hope he doesn't break his foot again. Or maybe we should ask Derek Jeter to come out of retirement and run the point guard position for us. Oh, here's one. Let's fire Derek Fisher and hire Tom Coughlin as coach for the triangle. Or maybe we should root for our squad that's on the floor until a realistic proposal worthwhile is upon us. Sounds good.
Who wrote that one?
Ollie. He liked sarcasm.
Yeah.
Andrew writes, it was a good comment. We're just tired. Andrew writes, thoughts on Aflalo saying he wants to finish his career with the Knicks. Personally, I like the enthusiasm he has for staying long term. Has Melo said he wants to finish his career with the Knicks?
Yeah, he has.
Okay, so has Porzingis said it?
He said he loves New York. I don't think he said he wanted to finish his career there.
Porzingis is a goddamn traitor. Let's get rid of him now. We need real Knicks players like a Flalo. Andrew writes, any thought on putting live videos up on YouTube? Jay?
Was that something you guys want? Yeah, I could do that. Not this episode because I forgot to hit record. But yes, I could. If you want to, I was putting them up, and we were getting like 12 hits, and it was embarrassing, so I stopped putting them up.
Maybe Andrew's one of the 12 people. Like us on Facebook, by the way. We haven't got as many new likes as I'd like.
And iTunes reviews have stopped, so we need more of those.
Yeah, iTunes reviews. Write us an iTunes review. Just ask someone you know it worked to write an iTunes review. They don't have to even be a fan of the show.
Oh, and stop emailing me saying you're going to buy shirts and then not buying them because you get my hopes up and then you don't buy them. We got 3 messages asking about the shirts and nobody actually bought them.
What question did they ask where your answer would have turned them off from it?
I don't know. They said, how do I buy them? I sent them the links and all the information, and then that's it.
I was really excited to buy them, but then Jay explained to me I had to exchange money for them.
Right.
Ralph writes, I think Fish is listening to your podcast. He had Calderon push the tempo on Friday. Also, we won despite Robert Randolph.
Goddamn Robert Randolph.
I was surprised they won a Friday game. Grant writes, do you think if Fish listened to our podcast, we'd be getting hate mail from Fish right now. Grant writes, do you think the basketball gods saved us from being ridiculed against the Sixers by having the Lakers break their losing streak instead of us?
I was panicking all week that they would beat the Lakers and then we would end that streak.
Rosario writes, I'm going to try to go a little faster. Rosario writes, trade Melo, Ho. Can we do that without getting effed over again? I know Mark is a cuckold, but I'm not so. Answers Knicks podcast. Rosario writes, effing Fire Fisher. This guy is going to ruin us. Winter is coming. Rosario writes, what happened to the guy making death threats to Jay, and was Jay scared? Yes, Jay was scared. Jay told him that the meetup was off because he was scared of this guy. Where is death threat guy?
Let me, while you read the next question, I'll open up Vine and see if he got back to us.
Okay. Rosario writes, why is Tom Thibodeau still out there? Where do you get the balls, Mark, Dilly, 1-800-TITS. Grant writes, DeMari Carroll hit Steph Curry in the face last night. Is that proof that he's a real beast?
We got no death threats on Vine this week.
I think we're going to. I think there's no beast report this week, but go DeMari Carroll. Way to hit Steph Curry in the face. Frank writes, "Is there I would do a beast report, but this is getting late." Frank writes, "Is there any scenario where Phil will fire Fisher if we are around 500 at the halfway point? Do you think the Knicks will make any trades to improve the team, or just stand pat?"
I think it would just be something really minor. There's going to be no major trades.
And do you think any chance that Phil will fire Fisher at any point?
No.
What about in the offseason? Like, is there any point, like, will he not serve his 5-year contract?
I think he would have to really, really mess up. I think he should, but I don't think he will.
Yeah. I mean, maybe at the end of the season he would say, like, I'm not thinking. I don't know. I don't know how stubborn Phil is.
Yeah, I don't know. Seems pretty stubborn with the triangle.
Yeah. At least we pay him $12 million a year. What does Phil Jackson do every day? I want to know what he does for the Knicks at this point.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I like how he assembled the team. I'm just curious what he does in a day to, like. I hope he has like regular phone calls with Derek Fisher that explain to him how to coach. Gillum writes, "What do you remember from what do you remember from the season before drafting Ewing?" I don't remember anything.
Didn't we draft him in 85?
Yeah. So when I said I don't remember anything, I literally have no memories prior to Ewing being drafted. Because I was 5 years old.
Yeah, at 5. Yeah.
Gillum writes, pretend it's a year ago. What do you think so far from Phil's work? What? Pretend it's last year. What do I think of his work from last year?
Didn't last year all he did is one stupid trade, right? He did the Chandler trade that didn't work out. So yeah, damn you, Phil, you suck. I hope you draft Porzingis.
Are you saying it's last year and we can see into this year?
Your question is insane, sir.
Well, he wrote like a book for the next question. Gillum writes, "That's a comment I saw somewhere. It's interesting. Listening to the Knicks post game, and Wally said, this is a comment. Okay, this is a comment he saw somewhere, not that's a comment. Okay, he puts this in quotes. Listening to the Knicks post game, and Wally said, if you go to redraft this year's draft, KP would be number 1 over Towns. He also says there is envy from the Wolves, Lakers, and Philly for screwing up their pick. I understand why the Wolves picked Towns, but what the Lakers and the Philly did backfired. They thought they was screwing Phil and the Knicks and screwed themselves. The only reason the Lakers took Russell because they thought the Knicks was going to take him. Same for Philly. The Knicks really don't want Okafor. That why they really didn't want the number 1 pick because they would have been forced to take Okafor or Towns. 20 games in, I'm really not sold on either. The best thing happened when they got to the number 4. KP was their pick all along. They was picking this kid no matter what. They had to start putting out smoke screens like they was willing to trade down or trade the 4th pick because when they showed interest in KP, the Lakers and the Phillies started showing interest. So when they thought they would trade the pick and started acting like Russell, the Lakers took the bait, and Philly, you being Philly just screwed up the draft, got hoodwinked by Phil.
Can we keep the Facebook questions as 700 words or less, please?
There should be some kind of Okafor, Phil, and Steve was laughing their ass off. Time almost ran out when it was time for them to make their pick. So your argument is Philly and the Lakers were not trying to make their rosters better, but they chose these players just to screw over the Knicks, no matter what happened to their roster. I don't understand that logic. The Lakers would say, hey, we're not going to take the best player for the Lakers. We're going to take the player the Knicks want.
Yeah, that doesn't... And then trade?
I mean, yeah, but they didn't try to trade him to the Knicks. Why would you do that? And the same with Philly. Philly didn't take Okafor to screw over the Knicks. They took Okafor because they thought Okafor would be the best addition. You're on Candy Crush again. It's pretty blatant, according to Steven.
No, I was not on Candy Crush.
Oh, my God.
I was reading an email from my classmate about our final paper that's due next week.
Oh, screw your classmate. Tell your classmate you're on Candy Crush and you cannot talk to him right now.
Right. Turn off this tattletale chat room.
Okay, here's the second point. You think if the Knicks had the number 1 draft pick, they were taking KP?
No, they would have taken Towns.
You don't think this was all? I mean, the part of it that makes some sense is the Knicks didn't talk that much about Porzingis because they were worried other teams would get excited about Porzingis too.
No, it's true. I think if it was anything other than the number 1 pick, they would have taken Porzingis. But if they had number 1, they would have taken Towns. Knicks' order was probably Towns, Porzingis.
Yeah, I find it hard to believe the Knicks would have taken Towns and Porzingis over Towns. But I mean, you think if they had number 2, they weren't going to take Okafor, even though they do you think in some ways they were talking up other players just to avoid people like getting excited about Porzingis?
Could be. Phil's always had mind games going on.
Gillum writes, are you still upset that we won those final games last season? And then Andrew writes, is the Miami chant of LeBron is tired the weakest chant ever? Is that what they were saying?
Yeah. I told you that like an hour and a half ago when we started the show. No, the Let's Go Heat chant is the weakest one. You know, the only chant they did for the entire 4 years they made the finals?
What did we learn today, Jay?
We learned that do not have an attention span once we hit the hour and a half mark.
Yeah, you really don't.
I really don't.
It's pretty bad.
We also learned that even though I have no attention span, at least I'm not yawning into my mic.
At least I'm not playing Candy Crush.
I stopped.
How do you even play? You're a grown adult. How do you play Candy Crush?
I don't know. trying to get to the end.
There's an end?
Yeah, but they keep adding levels, so like I never get to the end.
Oh my god, I can't believe you play Candy
They add
Crush.
like 15 levels a week, and I'm trying to like get.
You're not gonna. How much of your life do you spend playing this stupid Candy Crush game?
Well, I mean, they do it like at work when I'm on
At work.
when I'm on the toilet and I got nothing else to do.
Jay, you've been on the toilet for like 8 hours today. You put in an 8-hour workday on that toilet. Yeah, but you don't see how far I am in Candy Crush.
I'm on level 1100. Okay, can we?
Okay, let's end the show.
Okay, all right. Thanks for listening, everybody. iTunes reviews.
I also like to give a special shout out to Steven for pointing out that Jay plays Candy Crush the whole show. Thank you, Steven.
It was like 10 minutes, and it started. Steven joined the room as soon as I started playing. It was just a freak coincidence. But, yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back next Sunday. And then I think, I don't know, my final's coming up soon, so we might be able to start doing 2 a week in a couple weeks.
Ooh, is that like a teaser?
Yeah, my last final's on the 21st, so maybe after Christmas.
Ooh, Christmas special, Christmas gift to all the fans.
Yes.
But the 2 a week will not be. Well, instead of doing a 1 2-hour show, we'll do 2-hour shows.
Right. And then we'll actually do Brink again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, listen to our other show, The Brink of Sanity, brinkofsanityshow.com. It's just like this, only not Knicks related. It's us screwing around for 2 hours. It's nice.
If you buy a T-shirt, Jay will sign the T-shirts, and also he will put some of his blood on the T-shirts. You can have Jay's DNA.
There you go.
You put his DNA on there somehow.
Okay, now we're just getting weird. All right, we'll be back next week. Goodbye, everybody.
Okay.
Bye, love. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.